Get him up. Let him get up. Let him get up. Let him get up.
Are you ready to learn about the secrets of our planet's strangest creatures? From astonishing petrified animals that stun scientists to weird clusters of worms and the grotesque Alyoshenka, these mysteries defy explanation. Let's have a look into the bizarre world of the unknown creatures together. Number 1. Petrified, strange animal. First, we have the most strange creature on the list, with an odd head, torso, and limbs, and its condition is even more confusing. It looks like it's been turned to stone. What's especially strange is that they're drying corn nearby, and it seems odd to put something that looks alien next to food. According to the person who made this video, the cause of the explosion is still unknown, but the people in the town were more scared about what this creature might mean for their village. Journalists even point to local legends that might explain the fear. In Slavic folklore, there's a witch named Baba Yaga who lives in the forest in a house that stands on chicken legs. She's said to steal and eat children, and she's the equivalent of the boogeyman for kids in this region. Some people think this creature could be connected to Baba Yaga, but experts offer another possible explanation. In Russia, the permafrost is melting, and it's bringing back long-extinct animals like mammoths and rhinos. This creature could be one of those extinct animals we haven't seen before. There are places on Earth, like Lake Natron in Tanzania, that can mummify creatures quickly, but there is no evidence of that happening here. Number 2. Grotesque Alyoshenka. In early August 1996, in the industrial town of Kishtim, in the Russian Ural Mountains, police detective Vladimir Bendlin was investigating a robbery when he made a shocking discovery. A local woman showed him a bizarre creature that made him feel uneasy. The creature was about 10 inches long, hairless, with grayish-brown skin, a strange skull with ridges and bulging eyes. The woman explained that she had found the creature alive near a cemetery a few weeks earlier. She named it Alyoshenka and said her family cared for it until it died. Bendlin noticed the woman's mental state seemed unstable, and her story had some inconsistencies, but he still needed to figure out what this creature was. An initial examination suggested it could be a human fetus. However, Bendlin wanted a second opinion and took it to a pathologist. Forensic expert Chase Kletsky said the body was odd. It was missing ears, a nose, and genitals. The strangest part? There was no belly button, which raised even more questions. Some think there might be a strange explanation. Back in 1957, a military facility near Kishtim experienced a nuclear explosion that contaminated nearby villages. Some speculate that Alyoshenka might be a deformed fetus affected by the radiation. Detective Bendlin even handed the body over to unidentified flying object UFO researchers to see if it was something extraterrestrial, but things took an even stranger turn after that. Number 3. Weird clusters of worms. In 2015, after a considerable amount of rain, rangers at Eisenhower State Park in Texas were out checking the back roads. That's when they found something extraordinary. At first, it looked like piles of ground beef lined up in the middle of the road, which was pretty gross. But when they looked closer, they realized that some of it was moving. These were actually huge clumps of earthworms, or segmented worms, also known as annelids. No one had ever seen anything like this before. Researchers thought these worms were trying to evolve into something bigger, like forming a superorganism. This isn't completely unheard of in nature. Some creatures, like tunicates, which are elementary animals, can join together to create long chains, which helps them move through water more efficiently. Another example is social insects, like ants. In times of flooding, ants will group to form floating islands. They do this to survive extreme situations, and experts think these worms were trying something similar to help them survive the heavy rain. Number 4. Mysterious Managishi, seen in Canada. A security camera was on and captured something unbelievable in the middle of the night. The video, just 4 seconds long, shows an animal running across a front yard. When slowed down, it's still hard to tell exactly what it is, but one thing is clear: there's something strange about it. The person who owned the camera immediately thought it looked like a dinosaur, especially the way it was running and its shape. Some experts agree, saying the blurry video resembles a velociraptor. The creature has a strong, long tail, fitting the description of a minor, two-legged dinosaur. As wild as this idea may sound, there have been reports of similar sightings in modern times. In southwest Colorado, people have reported seeing what they call river dinosaurs or river lizards, which are smaller, theropod-like creatures. There are also stories from southwest Texas about giant two-legged lizards known as mountain boomers, believed to be larger versions of a smaller species. These sightings don't last long, but they do happen. Number 5. Tarsiers. Tarsiers are small primates found in Southeast Asia, including places like the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. There are about 13 species of tarsiers, all living in forested areas, especially in forests with vines that help them climb. They are tiny, measuring around 3.5 to 6 inches long, not counting their long tails, which are about twice the length of their bodies. Tarsiers are unique because they share traits with both lemurs and monkeys. Like lemurs, they are active at night and have a strong sense of smell, but their dry, hair-covered noses are more like those of monkeys, apes, and humans. The most striking feature of a tarsier is its enormous eyes, which are adapted to help them see in the dark. Unlike most night animals, tarsiers don't have a reflective layer in their eyes, so their large eyes and big visual cortex help them see better. They also have long ankle bones, which is where they get their name. Their heads can rotate 180 degrees, and their large ears are always moving. Their fur is thick and soft, colored gray to dark brown, and their tails resemble a rat's butt with a bit of hair at the end. Number 6. Ghost shark. Ghost sharks, also called chimeras or spookfish, live in deep oceans between 400 and 6,600 feet, where the water is near freezing. Though they're named sharks, they aren't actually sharks. Instead, they're a type of fish with skeletons made of cartilage, which helps them survive deep-sea pressure. Like sharks, they lay egg capsules on the ocean floor, where the embryos grow and feed on yolk until they hatch. These strange fish have smooth skin, beak-like teeth, and large fins that help them glide through the water like butterflies. They mainly eat shrimp and mollusks. Ghost sharks are hard to study because they live in such deep waters. Recently, scientists found a newly hatched ghost shark with a belly full of egg yolk, a rare sight since most known ghost sharks are adults. One unique feature of ghost sharks is the retractable appendage on their head, which makes them even more mysterious. About 55 species of ghost sharks have been found worldwide, with 12 in New Zealand and the South Pacific. One new species was discovered near New Zealand and has an unusually long snout, which likely helps it find food. Number 7. Penis snake. The Atritochawana icelti, also known as the penis snake or anaconda, is a strange, limbless amphibian that looks like part of the male anatomy. Despite its appearance, it's not a snake or anything related to one. This creature is a type of caecilian, an amphibian that breathes through its skin because it has no lungs. It can grow up to 81 centimeter, 32 inches long, making it the largest known caecilian. Very little is known about this animal, as only 2 specimens were recorded between the 1800s and 2011. Scientists think it lives in rivers, like many other lungless animals, and relies on its strong sense of smell to get around since it has poor eyesight. The Atratochuana was found by engineers working on a dam in the Amazon River. These creatures likely live in rivers and hunt small fish, worms, and other invertebrates. Some have even been found over 2,500 kilometers away, near the mouth of the Amazon. Number 8. Sea pigs. The sea pig, also known as Scotoplanes globose, is a strange and exciting creature. Despite its name, it's actually a type of sea cucumber, not a pig. These pink round sea animals grow up to 15 centimeter, 6 inches long, and are found in oceans all over the world. They move along the sea floor, eating bits of dead algae and fallen animals. Sea pigs have tiny tube-like feet on their belly, back, and around their mouth, which they use to move and eat. When something big, like a dead whale, sinks to the ocean floor, hundreds of sea pigs gather to feast on the rich food source. Interestingly, young crabs are often seen climbing on or hiding under sea pigs, possibly to stay safe from predators. Though they may look odd, sea pigs play an important role in cleaning up the ocean floor. Number 9. Pink fairy armadillo. The pink fairy armadillo is a tiny, unique animal that looks like a mix between a fuzzy caterpillar and a lobster. It's the most minor type of armadillo, growing to about 13 centimeter, around the size of a dollar bill, and can easily fit in your hand. Found in the sandy plains of South America, this little creature is also called the sand swimmer because it can move quickly through the sand. Its pink color comes from blood flowing through its shell to help regulate its body temperature in the hot, dry climate. With big feet and strong claws, the armadillo is excellent at digging and can bury itself in seconds. It has soft, white fur that helps keep it warm, but if it gets wet, it struggles to control its body heat. Its tail and a special plate near its backside help keep its tunnels from collapsing while it moves underground. Because the pink fairy armadillo is so hard to find, scientists know very little about its life in the wild. Number 10. Great potu. The great potu is a fantastic bird known for its excellent camouflage. This predatory bird lives mainly in tropical America and stays entirely still to blend in with its surroundings, looking just like a tree stump or branch. While waiting for prey, it can keep its eyes closed and still see, thanks to small openings below its eyelids. This helps it notice even the slightest movement around it. Growing up to 60 centimeter tall with a wingspan of over 70 centimeter, the great potu is the most giant bird in its group, which includes nightjars and frogmouths. It has huge eyes that provide excellent night vision, and unique slits in its eyelids help it sense danger even while sleeping. The great potu spends most of its time perched on branches, using its mottled feathers to hide from predators during the day. At night, it hunts insects like beetles and moths. It also has a unique call that sounds like an angry fox. Thankfully, this bird is not considered endangered, so its calls will likely be heard for years to come. Number 11. Echidnas. The echidna has one of the strangest penises in the animal kingdom. It has 4 heads and looks a bit like a foot. This unique feature is impressive, as it can be 1/3 the length of the echidna's body. Also known as the spiny anteater, the echidna is one of only 2 types of egg-laying mammals alive today, with the other being the platypus. Echidnas, part of the family Tachyglossidae, are found in Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea. They have rounded bodies covered in spines and a long bald beak that they use to eat. Their eyes are small and they have very tiny ears. The skin on their beak has special sensors that can detect electric signals from their prey, like ants and termites. Echidnas can be active during the day or night and slowly search for food on the ground. They like to hide from the heat in burrows or caves. While they may look like hedgehogs, echidnas are not related to them and belong to a different group of mammals. Number 12. Star-nosed mole. The star-nosed mole is like a geologist of the animal world because it can sense vibrations in the ground using its unique nose. This mole has around 25,000 tiny sensors on the fleshy tentacles around its nose, helping it feel its way around in its swampy home. It's the only mole that lives in marshes and can even pick up weak electrical signals from underwater prey. This small mole, about the size of a hamster, is found in the northern parts of North America. Its nose has special sensory organs called Eimer's organs, which allow it to detect seismic waves. The star-nosed mole is almost blind, so it relies on its nose to find food. It can also smell underwater. It does this by blowing air bubbles and then inhaling them, bringing scents back into its nose. Remarkably, it can eat very quickly, sometimes taking only 120 milliseconds to identify and eat its food. This makes it one of the fastest-eating mammals, with its brain deciding in just 8 milliseconds if something is good to eat. Number 13. Bird-dropping spider. This isn't a spider that catches birds. It's a spider that looks just like bird droppings. During the day, the bird-dropping spider sits still on a leaf, using its clever disguise to trick predators into thinking it's just a pile of poop. But at night, it uses another trick. It stretches out its front legs and releases a unique scent to attract male moths looking for a mate. The moths think they're in for a treat, but instead, they become a tasty meal for the spider. One well-known type of this spider is Selenia excavate, also known as the death's head spider because its markings can look like a skull. It's usually found on fruit trees where moths are plentiful. This spider is easy to spot because of its large size and unique shape. When hunting, it hangs from a leaf or twig and uses a scent that smells like female moths to lure in unsuspecting males. Number 14. Thistledown velvet ant. Despite its name, this fuzzy little creature is actually a type of wasp. Known as the thistledown velvet ant, or Dasymatilla gloriosa, it uses its fluffy appearance to blend in with fallen creosote fruits, tricking predators into ignoring it. Some scientists believe its white bristles evolved to reflect the intense heat of the desert. The female thistledown velvet ant is wingless and is more significant than some tiny species, but smaller than the biggest ones in its family. It can be found in places like Utah, California, and Mexico. Unlike other wasps that have bright warning colors, these females are camouflaged to look like creosote fruit, which grows in the same areas. This helps them survive in hot desert conditions. If threatened, they can deliver a very painful sting to defend themselves. While their sting is more potent than that of many smaller wasps, it's not as strong as the stings of the larger ones. Number 15. Red-lipped batfish. The red-lipped batfish is a unique fish that moves along the sea floor, using its special fin-like legs, making it look like it's ready for a night out. This odd way of moving might help male batfish attract a mate, but more studies are needed to confirm this. Also called the Galapagos batfish, or Ogchocephalus darwini, it lives around the Galapagos Islands and off the coast of Peru at depths of 10 to 249 feet. This fish is famous for its bright red lips, Unlike many fish, red-lipped batfish aren't great swimmers. They prefer to walk on the ocean floor with their adapted fins. When they grow up, their dorsal fin turns into a spine that helps lure prey. The red-lipped batfish was first described in 1958 by American scientist Carl Levitt Hubbs. It belongs to a special family of fish called Ogchocephalidae, which are related to anglerfish. Number 16. Pacific barreleye fish. The Pacific barreleye fish, also known as the spookfish, looks more like a submarine than a regular fish. Its unique eyes are shaped like barrels and point upwards, allowing it to see through its transparent head. This helps the barreleye spot the shapes of prey swimming above it in the dark ocean waters. These fish live in the ocean's twilight zone, where light from the surface fades into darkness, usually at depths between 2,000 and 2,600 feet, 600 to 800 meters. They are small, growing up to 6 inches, 15 centimeters long. The barreleye mainly eats tiny creatures called zooplankton, and may also snack on crustaceans caught in the tentacles of siphonophores. Barreleyes are known to be solitary and have large, flat fins that help them move smoothly and stay still in the water. Although not much is known about how they reproduce, scientists think they release their eggs and sperm directly into the water. Number 17. Japanese spider crab. There are about 60,000 types of crustaceans, and the Japanese spider crab is the largest of them all. With legs that can stretch up to 3.7 meters, 12 feet, it's much bigger than a human. Despite their massive size, these crabs start life as tiny planktonic larvae, with mothers laying millions of eggs. You can mostly find them near Honshu, an island in Japan. The scientific name for the Japanese spider crab is Macrochaera kayamferi. It goes through several stages of development before becoming so large, including 3 main larval stages. The Japanese name for this crab is Takaashigani, which means tall legs crab. Japanese spider crabs are considered a delicacy in Japan, and because of this, there are efforts in place to protect them from overfishing. These crabs can weigh up to 19 kilograms, 42 pounds, and have a body width of about 40 centimeters, 16 inches. Male crabs have longer claws than females. Number 18. Mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimp are not really shrimp. They belong to a group called stomatopods, which are related to crabs and lobsters. These amazing creatures have been on Earth for over 400 million years and come in more than 400 different species. The peacock mantis shrimp is one of the most famous types. It gets its name from its colorful shell, which looks like a peacock's tail. These aggressive animals have strong forearms that they keep hidden until they are ready to strike. Their punch is incredibly fast, like a bullet, and powerful enough to break a crab's claw. Mantis shrimp live in warm, shallow waters of the Indian and Pacific Oceans. They dig holes in the seabed using their front solid arms. Peacock mantis shrimp are about the length of a butter knife and have bright colors like blue, green, and yellow. They are excellent hunters, with some using sharp spikes to catch fish and others using solid claws to break open hard-shelled prey. Number 19. Naked mole rat. The naked mole rat can live for up to 32 years, making it the longest living rodent. These amazing creatures are also resistant to diseases that affect humans, like neurodegeneration and cancer. This unique trait could help us understand more about our health. Among the many types of mole rats, the naked mole rat is the most famous. Its hairless, wrinkly body makes it look a bit like a tiny walrus or a sausage with teeth. Naked mole rats live in large groups called colonies, similar to some insects. In these colonies, there is one queen who is the only female that breeds and has babies. The other rats, called workers, dig the burrows for the whole group and gather food like roots and bulbs, while other mole rat species often live alone or in small family groups. Naked mole rats stick together and work as a team to survive. Number 20. Sarcastic fringehead. The sarcastic fringehead, or Neoclinus blanchard, is a small fish, usually less than 10 inches long, but it's known for being fearless and very aggressive. It will charge at anything that comes near its home. The name sarcastic comes from its behavior, and fringehead refers to the unique appendages above its eyes. In breeding, female sarcastic fringeheads lay their eggs in a male's shelter, and the male guards them until they hatch. This leads to intense competition among males for territory. They show dominance by opening their giant mouths wide, which can be 4 times bigger than when closed. When two males face off, the smaller one usually backs down without a fight. While little is known about their feeding habits, sarcastic fringeheads eat small prey, including squid eggs, during spawning season. They are not fished commercially and are considered to be at low risk of extinction. Their mysteries encourage us to keep exploring and questioning what we think we know. Will stay with us as we uncover more of nature's secrets and jump into the wonders that await.